So up here, we're really in here right now. Doing a VOD review for my boy GhostActivator. Map is Nimbani. You're duoed with Batman, which is fine. No, that's yeah, it's a bug that happens when they're not in voice chat yet. Batman is correct. You don't, so just right off the bat, I'm gonna draw it out. So say this is Nimbani, right? You have this high ground here, you have that high ground there, and then this is an enclosed area, so I'm gonna color it in, right? And then this is in a different color. This is main road, this is the point, right? So yellow is low ground, blue is high ground. And then I guess you just in there, right? So, say the enemy team, hypothetically, yikes, is running like monkey. Holy, I can't write. Sorry, Winston, Diva, right? And like Zen Ana, or Brig even Ana. And then just like 2 DPS. And then you run out with Ryan Zarya. The only 2 ways your team can walk, well, there's 3 actually. You can walk with that comp, like there's more than that, but generally speaking, there's 4. Okay, I'm sorry, my brain's working. Generally, your team's gonna try to walk up main. That's what most teams do. You can either walk all the way around, which is just a waste of time, and you're gonna get, as soon as you walk through there, like through this low ground and onto point, you're gonna get fucked. Like there's no chance for you to live. You're just dead if you run Zarya there. You can push upper high ground, pretend that's not on the yellow, like upper high ground on the left. And as soon as you walk through, it's like there's such a tiny choke point, like right there. That's such a tiny choke point. You just die. And then the last one is lower, like on the left, like low ground over here, through there, with like the mega room. And with Ryan Zarya, if you have to run it on this point, that's probably your best bet. But generally, if you're playing Monkey Diva, you can literally just jump onto any high ground. You have full control. And if you can't, if for whatever reason you can't, say they're in like Torb or Bastion, you can just jump onto point and hug the wall that's super close to their high ground. And they can't hurt you without dropping. So you don't run Ryan on this point. Yeah, see. Alright, so Patman's right, again. I don't so specifically Nimbani first point, I'm gonna draw it again, right? So here's Nimbani first point, high ground. You guys run dive. Just assume that all 6 of their players are gonna be up here, right? You're running Ana, Lucio, run, Monkey Diva, Soldier Tracer. You wait for Tracer runs through low ground. This is low ground over here, right? She runs through low ground, gets behind. As soon as she gets there, your soldier wants to also be taking high ground up here, and your Lucio want to be sitting in main. Have your tanks dive on them, coordinate it with your Tracer. They can split the team. So say like they split these 3 off, and then you guys choose: do you want to kill these 3? Or do you want to kill those with your soldier? And the entire time, your soldier has complete free spams. This is one of the only points in the game where soldier is actually a good pick, especially with dive. Yeah, I agree with Pat. You just have to know to sit in main, and Lucio has to sit with you as well. He can't go frag. Just double check to make sure I'm recording. Okay. Yeah, you stay on it here. And they're holding super, super aggressive. Patman should be taking high ground here. I don't know if he is. Your Lucio is fucking botting out. Yeah, so Patman's going to take high ground. You should not be taking high ground with him. If he were on McCree, you take high ground with him, but you don't do it with a soldier. Right now, the way that what you just did, so here, what you just did was really bad. So look at where your team is, right? Your D.Va's going through there. Your Lucio's up there for some reason. And then you see a soldier go high ground, so you want to start going high ground, but you can see with this green right here, your Lucio starts moving in that direction. And one thing about a lot, like, generally people like to move with their Lucio, and the stream just lagged. So you can see here, now you can see your entire team is over there, except for your soldier who's on high ground. And by pushing into this room, like they're pushing, like right there, they just pushed out low ground, right? Now they're upper high ground, there's a wall behind you and them, you cannot heal them. You are completely useless now in this fight. And now you're dead. Especially, you saw a Doomfist in the first couple seconds of the round, as soon as you pretty much picked out. I'm also not going to comment on mechanical skill, but like mechanics, but that was a good sleep. Generally, you know, that's always a good thing to practice. I don't have very good mechanics either. Right here, this is really fucking stupid. As soon as you kill that Doom, you want to be backing the fuck up. Patman's gonna die here most likely. You need to land. Yeah. Okay, he's fine. You could not heal your entire team there. It was completely positioning based. You can't, especially since you saw the Doom, you can't push into that. You have to stay main. Even when your team is going low ground, you probably want to stay main because you know they have a Doom. And then you want to, that's fine. You should call out that Doom is purpled and on you. You need to call out he's on you. Oh, you did. Never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a good take. It was really kind of meh. Again, if you see they have a Doom, you never want to like get yourself in a place where he can one-shot you, especially not as Ana. And you never want to put yourself in a position where your team you don't have line of sight of your team, because if you need to kill it, like if you die trying to heal your team, then that hold on, let me restart that. If your team makes you go into a position where you have to die to see them to heal them, then you can't do it. But if you put yourself in a position where you can't heal your team, it's your fault, if you know what I mean. So say you're playing here and it's the only safe spot because they have like a Widow there and a Doomfist there and they're looking to dive you, and if you can walk 1 inch forward, you die there and you die there, right? And your team for whatever reason pushes up here and there's like a wall there or something, then that's your team's fault, not yours. But if you're pushing into here and you're alone or with a soldier and your entire team's down there, that's your fault for not being able to kill them. So just try and be mindful of where your team's going and making sure you have line of sight of them. Right now, you shouldn't be the one on cart. It should be your Lucio, but that's kind of whatever. Patman also should not have visored. You should sleep that. He's walking in a straight line. Just need it. Stand in your Lucio. Yeah, your Lucio did really good there. Another thing, just I know I wasn't gonna comment on aim. I'm not sure if you know this. Ana's unscoped shot is a projectile. I see that you're kind of aiming on the people with it. You should lead your shots and be able to predict movement if you're gonna use it. See right there, and that's hit scan, and you're aiming a lot better with it. But right there, you're like, you're kind of aiming on them, not next to them. That was a really bad beat drop, but that wasn't really your fault. Like, it wasn't. No, that wasn't. That was super bad. You were gonna win the fight anyways. It was a waste. And I think they have or did they if they have if they already visored, it's okay. But if they have visor next fight and you miss your sleep, you lose next fight. Because they, no, you don't run away. Wait, who? D.Va. And then you should be looking to nano your Genji. You should be looking to nano him, like, when you hear the blade, like, Ana, generally, her job is to stay alive, right? The only, thing, if you need to die to get a nano blade off, nano blade is better, because you just win the fight with it. Because the reason you want to stay alive is to heal everyone to win the fight. But Nano Blade, you don't need to heal anyone to stay alive. Literally just pump, your team needs to pump every resource into that Nano Blade, and there's almost no way you lose the fight. If you can stay alive, like, that's not saying go kill yourself every time there's a Nano Blade, but if you need to die to get the Nano Blade off, which you didn't there, like, Nano Blade should always be your top priority when you have Nano and Blade up. And now you're gonna have to, and then you're most likely either gonna hold Nano until, Pat gets another Blade, or you're gonna desync your ults, both of which are super bad because you're either holding an ult for another minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, or you're desyncing your 2 ults. I don't know what you just slept there. You kind of just slept the air. That was a good beat. He got it really quick, actually. Yeah. And you just walked out of a bubble when they were dead-eyeing, which is pretty fucking stupid. Another thing. So you saw Doom ult, right? And then you're in a bubble. So basically what you want to do is play this corner right there. Because what that does for you, like, just play around the edge of the barrier. Just jiggle in and out of it. Because what that does, Doom comes down, barriers block the Doom ult, so that Doom comes down, say right there, you're blocked. If you walk outside, if he comes down right there, you can walk inside and you're blocked. So if you play around the bubble instead of walking all the way out there, he can't kill you with the Doom ult. And you didn't get booped out or anything. And you're also in a bubble. It looked like you were trying to escape one of the 2 ults, and the bubble just completely saves you. Oh, you also died to a Zarya. I didn't even notice that. She wouldn't have been able to kill you if you were in bubble. So... nice shots on the Hammond, just farming him. Honestly, this might sound kind of weird. You can't kill him there. There's never a situation in which you can kill him. You've had ult for a few minutes now. Good nano. You don't want to hit anyway. You don't want to hit the Hammond there because you're just farming, feeding support ults at that point. Because there's literally no way you can kill him. And you don't really do enough damage for it to matter, so you can do it. It doesn't really matter that much. Nice shot. But, like, super minor thing. If you have ult and there's no way for you to kill on him, especially since it's just you and Tracer both long range killing him, it's just a waste of bullets and gives them more support ults. Nice nade on the Mora. I thought that would have hit the Brig, to be honest. I think you did too. And that's actually really big, because you had already lost that fight, and they completely wasted Grav. Your Tracer should just be backing the fuck out, and your Lucio is also going to feed in, like, 10 seconds. If they see him, he's dead, which is really bad. Okay, so, what I was saying earlier about the Rhyme pick on first point, it stands for second point because of this high ground here. But Ryan on third point Nabani is way better than Winston. So that's a very, very good pick from your main tank. I really like that. And the D.Va can say D.Va or Zarya is fine here, either way. Big kill from Pat. Please sleep that. Nice sleep. Very unfortunate. If you had slept the Wrecking Ball sooner, he wouldn't have been able to kill you. Also, your team is retarded for doing this right here. Just straight up. They can't push without you. They just feed. This is almost definitely not a one fight. If you win this, I would be very surprised. Because you have no main tank and no main heals. You only have Lucio heals and only have Matrix for eating stuff. Yeah. And then your Lucio dies as soon as you come up. You can never die there. You're standing right next to your Ryan. Unless he like is retarded, you can never die. Nade that. I think you have to nade. Yeah, you had to nade that sooner. And then you just reset. You either die or walk the fuck out. You don't try to keep them alive. Because that's just staggering. You never want to, when it's already a 100% lost fight, you never want to keep your team alive. You just want to get out. Especially if you already have nano. thought he was actually, I thought you were actually gonna miss that nano, which is something I've actually done quite a bit recently. I I don't know why, I feel like nano's kind of weird recently. Probably just me though. You just completely, like, flicking upwards like that with your sleep is really stupid, because he's already in a falling animation. Like, he did the uppercut and you slept as he was falling, and you flicked so hard upwards that there's no way that can ever hit. Your Ryan fed, that wasn't your fault. There's nothing you can do to keep him alive. There's a good nade. They solo grabbed. Your diva should have been able to eat that, to be honest. That was very, very obvious. Nope. That's also not your fault. That not being able to nano and not dying there is not your fault. It's still winnable if you keep fighting this. Your Lucio feeds. I feel like your Lucio doesn't really know how to peel, which is pretty typical of diamond players. You have the speed coming back. You should nano a Wrecking Ball here. You have to sleep the Doom there. You can't. Yeah. So hold on. Let me actually open Overwatch real quick. I want to show you something. Okay. So, my settings might be too low to actually show you this, but I'm gonna try. Right. Okay. So, basically, what you're doing with Ana right now is, with your sleep darts, you know, when you want to, say that, let me actually go over the moving people. So right now, you see that guy moving right there? What you're doing is you're aiming at them and then flicking away. Well, that was a bad example. That was a bad example. Hold on. Here, I'll just try to, so you're aiming at them, right? And then you're flicking away as you do the sleep. What you need to do is flick as you're sleeping. Yeah, well, I'm a little retarded. You need to flick towards them after the animation started, because there's a startup time on the animation. And obviously now that I'm trying to show it, I can't do it. It's like that. You know what I mean? Oh, I have 150 ping. That's why. Like, you see them moving, and you're aiming and then flicking away. I should probably just swap yours instead of waiting to pull down out. You need to flick to them after you start the animation, because of the start. Like, it's a very short startup animation, but it really does matter. And if you start doing that, you'll really start landing a lot. Like, check this. Like, look. What the fuck? Like, I start there and I flick my mouse, even if it's just a little bit, but the flicking after the animation startup, it gives you a lot more like, it makes you a lot more accurate. Of course, I can't aim, so I'm a little different. But really, you don't, and a lot of, hold on, I actually have to turn up my sense a little to do this. What you're doing a lot is, like, you're shooting and then flicking upwards, and obviously that's like an exaggeration. But you're missing a lot of stuff because you're flicking way too hard and way too late. Like, you see, even if it's just like a slight adjustment. It's like, say you want to heal this teammate right here, your crosshair's here, you want to just adjust it a little bit every shot, you know, just to make sure you have maximum, right, accuracy. It's the same thing with the sleep dart. And of course I can't aim, but